I am Dee Meyer, a software engineering graduate candidate. My paper is about leveraging wireless sensor networks and smartphone technologies to bring about a ubiquitous healthcare delivery system in disaster areas. My thesis statement is the implementation and adoption of ubiquitous technologies in disaster medical delivery could save time, money, and lives. This is a brief historical overview of the role of telecommunications in medicine. In the 20th century, wired telephones and telex machines were used for message exchange in the medical field. Emergency medical situations were called in, or a telex was sent with a brief text message. In the 80s, fax machines took the place of the telex and copies of medical documents and longer text messages were sent. In the 90s, wired computer network technologies were used to relay medical information, mostly in forms of emails with attachments. In the 21st century, there is a proliferation of telecommunication technologies that could transmit and receive medical signals and data. The robustness of wireless network technologies brought about rapid changes on how medical information is exchanged. The advent of wireless sensor networks in smartphones raised the hopes of a lot of scientists that we are moving to the realm of ubiquitous medical computing. What is ubiquitous computing? Mark Weiser wrote the seminal paper about ubiquitous computing while he was working for Xerox PARC in 1988. He states that ubiquitous computing is about interconnected hardware and software that are so ubiquitous no one notices their presence, enabling people to focus on their task and human interaction. He added that ubiquitous computing envisions a world of fully connected devices with cheap wireless networks everywhere. He talked about embedding hardware and software in everyday objects connected with wireless networks that justifies the use of the phrase anywhere, anytime computing. This is the graphical representation of a simplified, ubiquitous healthcare delivery network configuration using wireless sensor networks. Wireless sensors are attached to a patient, representing different medical devices with specific medical applications. They wirelessly transmit information to a gateway sensor, which connects to a specified or ad hoc network infrastructure, which relay the data to a base station. The base station is manned by a medical personnel who can either analyze the data and transmit back medical advice or disseminate the data to an expert who can help the patient. The simplistic network configuration belies all the complexities involved in the design, development, testing, and deployment of a real disaster healthcare delivery system. We have seen in the last slide the abstraction of a wireless sensor network. In this slide, we have a picture of a wireless sensor node or a mote. A mote is a miniaturized sensor node. The mote in the picture is a mica Z. The mica Z and the mica 2 dot are the most common motes used for medical applications for their wireless, low mass, low power, and reprogrammable capability. A wireless sensor network is formed by scattering a number of sensor nodes in the target area to form an ad hoc wireless network of nodes that could facilitate data transmission by multi-hop. Smartphone technology and wireless sensor networks could be a formidable pair in making ubiquitous medical service delivery a reality. Spyglass Computing writes 94% of physicians use smartphone to communicate, manage personal and business workflows, and access information, including medical reference materials. That translates to less training needed if a smartphone is used as a personal medical server in a remote disaster area. Remember Star Trek? Remember the medical tricorder that the Star Trek medical personnel waved like a wand to diagnose and cure the space crew? Our technology is not quite there yet, but I got a feeling that the medical tricorder of the future will look so much like a smartphone with sensor technology. Here is a sample scenario on how a smartphone is currently being used to transmit and receive biosignals and other medical data from the disaster site to a base station or nearest hospital. A configured smartphone receives data from the medical devices attached to a patient and transmit them to a group of medical experts who give immediate feedback to the medical personnel on site. In a remote setting where cell towers and other network connections are either out of commission or simply inexistent, wireless sensor networks and satellite connections are the current solution. These are some of the studies in ubiquitous computing with medical applications. Harvard's Code Blue pioneered the study of wireless sensor networks using different medical applications in a remote setting. They used mostly commercial off-the-shelf hardware and wrote specialized software to develop a remote medical delivery system. ModeCare is a study pattern after Code Blue. Its specialized application is that of monitoring the elderly and disabled in their homes. The remote monitoring is done through the use of medical management tools that measures key medical factors such as blood pressure and an alert system that activates when a dangerous threshold is reached. Medicine seems to have taken over where Code Blue left off, and some Code Blue collaborators are involved in this project. Medicine focus is on patient monitoring in hospitals and disaster scenes. There are a number of barriers to ubiquitous medical delivery implementation and adoption. They could be categorized into technical and social issues. Under technical issues, we have limited power, communication, and computation capability of existing miniaturized medical devices, deficient standards, integration, and interoperability requirements of available medical applications, lack of reliable communication network needed for life and death situations, and lack of dedicated medical infrastructure that will ensure private and secure medical data transmission. Under social issues, we have usability issues of complex medical devices resulting in low user buy-in, disparate medical standards and policies, privacy and security concerns, and lack of reimbursement for ubiquitous medical services. Most of the technical issues could be easily solved as there is an overwhelming interest in the technical field to find solutions to these problems. The social issues are much harder to overcome. It takes a lot of time and effort to socially re-engineer a society, let alone the world. Since it takes between 5 to 10 years from concept to publication, the published literature reference in this slide may not be the most recent. This presentation was done to inspire the audience to dream, explore, and create. In summary, ubiquitous medical delivery will be a part of our future. This is an exciting time to be involved in the technologies and disciplines that will make it a reality. We are hearing and reading about the climate changes worldwide, which may result in the increase in natural disasters. This is the time to start investigating technologies that can be leveraged to save time, money, and lives when disaster strikes. The relentless advances in wireless network systems and smartphone technologies will be beneficial in the efficient and effective disaster medical delivery. It could also make the realization of a ubiquitous healthcare delivery a lot faster than what most scientists expect. There is still a lot to be done before we will see a true ubiquitous medical delivery system. More research by multidisciplinary teams are needed to study and resolve a myriad of technical and social issues. To Dr. Hoyt and the UWF Computer Science faculty and staff, I truly appreciate the time, guidance, patience, and assistance you bestowed on me while working on my thesis. Thank you for lighting my fire.